It's so rare that architects get to see each other present. So we're getting a lot of ideas to steal from each other, which is great. So I'm Sean Evans, principal of AOS Architects. We're up there, right there, that's where we are. And I'm representing a really phenomenal team of Santa Feans and fans of Santa Fe. Design office also from Santa Fe, Rothko from Nashville, and Mass Design from Boston. All of us are honored to be a part of this brainstorming for the future of the city we love. The revisioning of the campus presents an historic opportunity to heal the wounds of decades of short-sighted planning that resulted in an isolated and fortified campus, unknown to most residents and visitors to the city. The campus is located in the geographic and demographic center of the city. However, it's a large void surrounded by an array of few streets that do not connect to the surrounding communities. The campus inhibits walkability, commerce, education, and civic goals. The public process, as part of this, public discourse as part of this process thus far, has clarified the desired program, which we think can be easily accommodated, but much like our peers, we think that's actually the wrong question to start with. And what's most important is to focus on connectivity. Our vision aims to thread many new conduits of both physical connectivity and mental collaboration between the campus and the community. No longer will college students hide behind walls in suburban strip malls. The academic facilities and interconnected tech hub facilities will transition students into the workforce through a shared creative entrepreneurial spirit. Alexi went through the ownership map, so I get to skip it. So here we see the lack of current connectivity, only 2 ways in and only 2 ways out. No connections to Cerrillos, no connections to Casa Alegre, poor connections to St. Mike's and Hopewell, no connection to Bellama and Franklin Miles. What a lost opportunity. What if we charted not just 1 or 2 additional connections, but a dozen? How might we capitalize on the new link zoning overlay while not focusing on capitalism, but equity? How might the single use of an academic campus be broadened to create a vibrant new Midtown? So if we focus just on the current campus, we see new academic buildings in blue, expanded facilities for the library and Garson Theater, expanded facilities for the Garson Studios in purple, new entrepreneurial tech buildings in orange, a ribbon of new affordable housing in yellow. We think that's about 200 units right there, with a clarified central green bounded by a large new iconic building at the south and a cafe bandshell in the middle. But link zoning enables us to rethink Cerrillos, extending and widening a central park, creating a visual connection from campus to Santa Fe's main street. Large mixed-use buildings with retail on the ground floor, housing on 3 floors above, and internal parking garages will bring much-needed walkable streets to Midtown. So many of our favorite destinations are already here: Jumbo, India House, Tecolote, Annapurna's, Robin Charlie's, Felipe's, Dion's. My kids are really excited about the Chick-fil-A. Shouldn't we be able to walk here? Shouldn't we be able to ride our bikes? Now, we broke the rules because we think that the link should be extended to the other side of Cerrillos, because that's really what is needed to slow traffic down and create a truly walkable district and connect to Casa Alegre. Now, this style of development has long been envisioned for St. Mike's, but we believe that the most important element here is the rerouting of Hopewell Street straight into the campus and through to Franklin Miles. We're suggesting the elimination of the current entrance and straddling that with 2 new entrances, creating a big new park for residents, contrasted with this park here, which is really for the citizens of Santa Fe. This park here is for the immediate neighborhood. In the block south of St. Mike's, we see great opportunity for different types of housing, traditional apartments, live-work housing, as well as the mixed-use housing we've talked about. And to the west, the tech hub expands into the underutilized government land with commercial loft buildings interspersed with additional live-work housing. You can see how the new street grid now threads through the pedestrian and vehicular traffic into Franklin Miles, into the neighborhoods to the west. Along Serengo, we're proposing a couple new roads, but we'd really like to preserve what's one of the last large pieces of the natural landscape in our city. So, in keeping with the themes drawn from public discourse thus far, we have a new city center, expanded higher education facilities, Center for the Arts, Center for Entrepreneurship, Center for Film and Emerging Media, and a vibrant residential and commercial corridor. So here's looking southwest from Hopewell and Cerrillos with the Sandias in the background. This will all be on the board. You can read that much later. And let's look at some images of what we think the character of this place might be. So there's not a lot of this type of housing done in the Santa Fe style, and we don't know that that's appropriate anyways. But it is important to note that the link overlay does relax the very strict design controls that are typical for Santa Fe. Garson Park, again, neighborhood park, smaller green spaces, more intimate, separated by clusters of trees. The campus quad, we're proposing to retain many of the existing dormitories and really make that into a more private academic space and more appropriate to the desert climate. The natural landscape along Arroyo Chamiso at the southeast, and the tech hub. We've heard from my peers about the importance of contemporary architecture. I'm not sure what you all think about that, but we think it's important. We believe that the design of our civic identity plays a role in the challenge of retaining young people in Santa Fe. This is something we've been talking a lot about, something that the new mayor is talking about. Our children need to be able to see and understand our heritage, but they also need to be able to envision the future. And design and architecture is a major part of that. These buildings should be net zero energy, and their design needs to visibly demonstrate our commitment to the environment. We're no longer going to hide solar panels. We're no longer going to hide rainwater catchment. It's going to drive our design from here out. The Central Park, we're looking at a series of, we're calling it Santa Fe Green. We're looking at a series of linear parks. There's a really fabulous new one in Dallas called Clyde Warren Park. We won't talk about where the money comes from to fund that. But a big space capable of housing, as many people as will see Zozobra, and full of activities. And at the center of it all, an icon. Is it traditional? Is it modern? Does it matter? It needs to be tall. It needs to be seen, and it needs to be a place from which people can see and position the very new center of Santa Fe. So here's a view of our beloved strip malls and what it could be with this great new civic park and a variety of open spaces, and really mix the density of buildings that we've heard many of our peers talking about. Let's do that, but let's also do big, bold, urban public spaces for all of us to enjoy. Thank you very much.